in Scorpio. Now, with this full moon in Scorpio, I put in the title in the video, your old life is going to come at the cost of your new one. So let's get into a bit more of what the themes of what this means. With it being in Scorpio, this Pluto energy, right, is coming up. And with Pluto is currently in Aquarius. And I read that I believe in about 2 weeks, Pluto is actually going to go retrograde. So something about this time right before Pluto goes retrograde is really calling you to get clear, because I'm hearing like clear your space. If you've been called, or just like the spring cleaning um energy I've been getting. So your homes, your life, I heard your finances. Um are really called to just get more organization. I heard just like decluttering and clearing out. So that's some of the downloads I've been getting. Another download I've gotten is this kind of something about how do I explain it? It's like because with the Pluto's in Aquarius right now, right? Which has a lot to do with like our mind, our community, the way we communicate. Something about like mental stimulation. So something about like because I've been feeling from the collective this kind of like this hunger. Something about hunger, something about desire is important here. I definitely want to see what this because I heard hungry like the wolf. What's that song? I'm on a hunt. I'm after you. And I'm hungry like the wolf. Something about hunger. Something about being hungry. But this feels more, it feels as much of like a physical hunger. Some of it might be fasting, or just noticing differences in your appetite. I heard appetite changes, or you might be like eating less meat or eating less of something, or having like weird cravings, is what I'm getting. But I heard hungry. But this download, this hunger came in as like so like food for thought, like they say, like food for thought. This is a very like somebody's mentally hungry. So somebody, or this also could be a person too, like someone's hungry for you, hungry to know more about what's in your mind. Because with this like Pluto Scorpio energy, I'm just getting this like something about like a hunger or a desire here. Who's hungry? Who needs a snack? But I want to start off with the moonology and just getting in to see what the overall message of this full moon, what's the messages that are coming in. But those are some of the downloads I'm getting. I've gotten so far with this full moon. I feel also something about body dysmorphia, or something about changes, like physical changes, body changes here. With this full moon in Scorpio, because I'm also getting this grief energy. Some of you, or you may be feeling this like grief for having to grieve a previous version for yourself, having to grieve, because I'm getting a lot of like body dysmorphia here, something about body, there's like physical changes that's happening, that's going on, that is it's like you're having to grieve, like, you know what I mean, like it's like looking at yourself different, like looking yourself in the mirror and seeing someone else different, right? Something about grief, about this full moon, is bringing in a lot of this like grief process. So you may find yourself at a certain process with this, right? Ooh, I got one. Let me get one more. With also this full moon in Scorpio, a lot of us are just kind of like looking, I heard just like looking with like fresh eyes, right? Looking at an old situation with new eyes. It's something about like, I heard like, ooh, that's kind of it's kind of a dark message, but it's like visits from the dead, or like visiting like a past situation, or like a dead situation, right? Something about like the past coming up here. This full moon is really bringing up a lot of old situations, but old, like, you know what I mean? A lot of old emotions that are called at this time for you to really look at. Let's get one more. Ooh, okay, bottom of the deck, prosperity lies ahead. Full new moon in Taurus, right? We love to see this new moon in Taurus. So this actually takes place after we get through. So this is going to be on the other side of where we're at currently, since we are in the full moon cycle. The new moon in Taurus, which rolls back around about 2 weeks from us. This really lets me know, let us know that prosperity lies ahead. Wherever you are in your path is where you're supposed to be at this time. Um, with this tour, with this Taurus energy, like some of you, like I said, being called to really ground yourself at this time. Spirit wants you to know that this is the time to ground yourself. And then also, I heard just like letting go, releasing what no longer serves you. Like I said, you're old. Look, your new timeline, prosperity lies ahead. Okay. Your new timeline requires that release. Your new timeline requires, I heard forgiveness. Something about this Taurus, when I see this Taurus, when I think of Taurus energy, when I think of the bull, I think of the stubborn energy. Some of you are, hmm, you're holding yourself back because you're fixated and you won't let go of the past. Like I said, your old life has to be surrendered for the new. This is a new moon, new cycle, prosperity lies ahead. Something about looking back. Spirit is saying at this time to release what is holding you back from the prosperity that lies ahead. This could be, and it's coming through as like an old relationship, something about an old relationship or old situation pulling on you or pulling your energy, pulling you backwards. But with prosperity at the bottom, here, bottom of the deck, prosperity lies ahead. New moon in Taurus. Something about this new moon cycle, or something about this cycle from full moon to the next new moon. The next 2 weeks, be very intentional with the way that you move, the way that you communicate. I also have communication is key. Something about the way that you communicate is going to affect how financially and how abundant you will be. So just keep that in mind with this full moon. Try not to be too stubborn. I heard forgiveness. So something about that Taurus energy and being really fixed and being fixated. I heard fixated and obsessive. Something about obsessive. Okay, have you been a bit obsessive over the last over the last couple weeks? But this also calls too with the Taurus. I feel like this also, it's almost a call to a healthy obsession or a healthy fixation that brings you prosperity. I heard mind the business that minds you, okay? Mind the business that minds you, okay? Mind the business that pays you. Yeah, mind the business that pays you, okay? Something about minding the business that pays you within the next 2 weeks. I heard just like focused on the I got my mind on my money and my money on my mind, rolling down the street. See, something about this old school, something about this old school. I'm getting like summer energy too. Something about like, say, you could be saving up for the summer. You could be like getting your stuff together for summer for things to pop off. So I'm just rolling down the street. And no gin and juice. About West Coast here. You or your person could have this like West Coast or something about this like West Coast, something about laid back with my mind and my money and my money and my mind. Something about having your money on mind on your money and your money on your mind. Okay. So that's let's get into that. Communication is key. New moon in Gemini. This was one of the first cards out. So with this moon phase is also, even though it's a full moon in Scorpio, Scorpio is going to be a lot more reflective, a bit more of a moodier moon. Something about like communicating to those that get you, right? Communication is key. This is also Mercury energy, right? With Mercury here, this full moon is really calling for us to tap in, like I said, something about that like hunger, right? And then I say Mercury, something about like, or something that I've got this download of like you just looking around you, or it's like it's the things around you just aren't doing it, like aren't mentally stimulating enough for you, right? Something about this communication is key. I heard watch your mouth, okay? Watch your mouth. I see someone already in the comments. Okay, watch your mouth, okay? Communication is key. Okay, I got a message here for you too. Something about speaking up, speaking your truth is really big too with this full moon. You could be communicating in truth. Someone around you also could be approaching you wanting to communicate a truth as well. Communication is key here. I heard closed mouths don't get fed. Like I said, this downloaded this like hunger, this mental hunger that we're feeling. Something about closed mouths don't get fed. You have to ask for what it is that you need. All right. If you're having a mental desire, there's something that you want to learn. Because I'm just getting with this like Pluto and Aquarius, um, it's supercharging the full moon. Since we have that Pluto and Scorpio, we have no, we have, sorry, the moon is in Scorpio, Pluto's in Aquarius, right? You put both of that together, that is obsessive because you have the Scorpio, the emotional obsession. Then you also have like the mental obsession and like where Aquarius kind of jumps in, right? Aquarius, we love to learn how things work. We want to learn um how just the systems of everything, right? Something about this full moon is really called something about this like investigative, something about like details about like a crime or like something about this like because when Aquarius and Pluto come together, when Aquarius and Scorpio comes together like this, it's very investigative. It's very um yeah, it's getting very I'm sorry, hold on. Hold on. Yeah, something about when Scorpio and when Scorpio and Aquarius come together, it's a very investigative, like that's where mysteries get solved. There's something about mystery getting solved. Something about Scooby Doo. Scooby Dooby Doo, where are you? I would have gotten away with it. Something about, oh, hold on. I wouldn't have gotten away with it. Something about that. Something like I said, this look. I'm not playing around with this full moon in Scorpio, okay? With this full moon in Scorpio, something about would have got away with it. So, is someone trying look, I don't like this, okay? Because with the full moon in Scorpio is really illuminating hidden truths, illuminating maybe I heard half truths or something about like something about dishonesty or also got this you shall know them by the fruit. You shall know them by their fruits. A quote from the Bible. You shall know them from their fruit, right? With the Taurus and Scorpio axis really talks about you know somebody by their fruit, aka you know someone you you know how someone is by the way that they move. That's also another download I'm getting. Something about like the way someone moves. Mercury has to do with mental, but it also is like the way that you move mentally, right? The way that you kind of like move through space. You shall know them by the way that they move. So something about the next 2 weeks, really pay attention how people move around you. Less about because the communication is key, right? I just said that, right? Communication. We want to hear what people have to say. But with this, like I said, you have two sides. You have like the way something when someone's saying, this is how they show up, how they're like saying it, and this is how they're moving. Look at people, what they say, look at their actions, how it proves um what they're saying. Do their actions and do their thoughts and their words line up here? Something about this is going to be important with this full moon. Something about like who something about I heard back it up. Was what I heard. Back it up, back it up. Something about backing it up. Okay, that's a big download I got. Back it up. Something about backing up. So I heard this is data. If this is data information, something about backing up or like proof. So then you need to back something up. Like I said, a Scorpio, something about this Mercury Scorpio, this illuminated. So you need to be able to back something up. If you say something, you need to be able to back it up. Back it up, back it up. Something about back it up. You might be a wanting to back that thing up. Okay, back that something about back that thing up. Okay, somebody and they back the thing up. Something about backing it up. Um, big Something about backing it up, okay? Backing something up, make sure I heard like backing yourself up and this also could be backing someone else up, okay? So something about like I said, I'm getting this like you having to be someone I heard look out. Okay, look. I'm scared. Look, this full moon. Okay, I just say don't get caught out there is what I heard. Don't get caught out there. Okay. Something about back it up, something about proof or alibi. Okay. Look, I don't know what y'all shenanigans y'all getting up to with this Scorpio. But like I said, I'm getting this you needing to really back up what it is that you say with action. If you speak something about like cuz I heard that like your ability to manifest what you speak your ability to manifest what you speak is the highest right now. You being able to see the manifestation, seeing things really show up in reality in the way you speak it. Okay, something about just the way that you speak. Also, I have waxing crescent moon. Have faith in your dreams. So I love that this is coming out too with this full moon Scorpio, right? Like I said, where we're kind of a bit obsessive. We want to see things, this is you putting in the steps on faith. Something about you planting something on faith or something, because I'm getting this vision of like you planting a seed or walking in a specific direction. You don't know how it's going to turn out. You can't even guarantee. Something about Inception. Do you remember that movie? Oh, what's that scene? It was a scene where Leonardo DiCaprio was like, "How do I know that you can deliver?" And the other guy was like, "You don't, but I can." Something about Inception, because which that movie was about dreams. Okay, something about dreams, is really big here. Have faith in your dreams, because that whole movie, if you remember Inception, or maybe that's a download. Go back and watch it. Okay, I think also Leonardo DiCaprio. I think he's also a Scorpio too. Okay, look, Scorpio. I think he's a Leo or something. I don't know. No, no, no. He's like a Libra, but he's got some Scorpio in there. Something about believing in your dreams. Something about how do you know, like I said, how do you know if I can deliver? Something about you don't know if something is going to turn out in the way that you do, but you do. You have to have faith. Faith is required here, okay? Have faith in your dreams. For you to be able to manifest that future, you have to be willing to let go. Okay, prosperity lies ahead. Prosperity lies ahead. Okay, you have to be willing to let go of your. Because I heard someone's mindset is what's holding them back. Your mindset. You think I heard since you got your degree and you think you know everything. Okay, somebody's ancestor, somebody's spirit is so loud saying, since you got your degree and you think you know everything, you could be very well educated, or you could just like know a lot and possess a lot of wisdom. Something about since you have your degree and you know everything, spirit. Somebody's got a sassy somebody's got a sassy like ancestor saying that since you got your degree and you know everything. Okay, someone's like looking at you in your spiritual realm being like, you think you know how this is all going to turn out. Okay, like it's something about getting this also, like I heard Cinderella. Something about Cinderella. Some of you like, or you may be resonating with this. Like, you have been working too hard, or you've just been so caught up in the mundane of making things happen. It's like you don't dream, or something about you not dreaming enough, or like I heard dream bigger. So that, yeah, I'm getting all this. What's all this Inception stuff? Something about dream. Don't be afraid to dream a little bigger, darling. Okay, is what I heard. Don't be afraid to dream a little bigger, darling. Okay, because faith is required here. Spirit is really urging us to let go of what we think. Taurus, right? Fixed earth. What I know, what I kind of can. All right, I'm gonna do this. 1 + 2 = 3. Okay. But spirit is really urging you at this time to not rely so much on the material. I heard don't rely so much on the material. That also goes to I did hear along with that though, like be practical and grounded, but still have faith. Take steps, like I heard, just do what makes the most sense, right? Something about working smarter and not working harder. I have here. So let's get into more what this is about. Have faith in your dreams. Something about this dreams, this inception, something about you could be inception. You could be like something about inception, right? Because inception is like when you like begin something, right? Or that concept that's conception. Inception. Inception when you're kind of like peeking in through. I heard like peeking behind the curtain, right? With this full moon Scorpio, right? We're kind of peeking behind the veil, peeking behind the curtain, and you could be kind of like seeing something about behind the scenes. Okay, something about behind the scenes. You could work behind the scenes, or like just kind of like you might be used to. I heard something about like used to being in the front, but now you're kind of like peeping and kind of seeing how things are like playing out in the back, right? Ooh, holy shit. Oh my gosh. But yeah, let's get into some of the downloads of what this full moon is really bringing into us. Ooh, okay. I'm reading from the Madhouse Tarot. It's one of my favorites. Ooh, there's too many cards. Um, I'll I'm gonna give you a little warning. The imagery is a bit graphic in this deck. It's a bit intense, but given, hey, I heard let's take it there. Take it to the internet and I'm gonna take it there. Something about that's also a download I'm getting. Okay, with that I've gotten over the last week. Something about that song from Kendrick Lamar, Whacked Out Murals. Something about this like everybody that's on my body, my blick first, then God got me. Something about like you really stepping into your power when you know that it's you and God, or you and spirit, however that resonates with you, you and your spirit team. Something about like not needing validation is also important with this full moon in Scorpio. Something about like stepping outside of the validation of others. I was getting this just like I heard also revenge. That's a whole nother thing. Of course, Scorpio loves revenge. Okay, look. I've been so actually, how do I want to read this? How do I want to read it? I'm gonna read it up right. Okay, with Scorpio, I love this full moon. I love Scorpio energy. I have quite a few Scorpio placements in my charts, but one thing Scorpio loves is like something about that get back, something about that lick back. Okay, something about getting my lick back, getting her kickback. Something about kickbacks. Like I said, something about getting back, kicking back. Something about like a kickback. But Scorpio has has a relationship with revenge, really, right? When you think about it, Scorpio talks about like, devotion like in its best. Like Scorpio's very devoted emotionally, like very like locked in. But if you betray them, hurt them, show them they can't trust you, yeah, or especially if you betray them, you leave them for dead. Oh no, because here's the thing: people forget Scorpio is a regenerative sign, meaning that it can it its emotional way that knows how to heal and repair itself, right? That's why Scorpio rules over death and rules over the transformation. And Scorpio really represents, if we're getting real deep and real spiritual here, talks about alchemy, where how they say death is not the end, death is a portal, it's a transformative thing. That's why if that was true, the 12 signs would just the signs would just end at Scorpio if death was the end all be all. But after Scorpio is what comes in next, Sagittarius, alchemy. It goes from let me break down a little astrology for you. With the astrology, the 12 signs, right? Scorpio is the eighth sign. But Scorpio also represents the threshold between the inner planets and the outer planets. Now, the inner planets are between signs from Aries, Taurus, what is it? Aries, Taurus, Gemini, okay, Cancer, Leo, Libra, Virgo. Those are all internal planets. It all speaks to our internal experience, what we experience, internally, right? Scorpio steps in. Scorpio is the threshold. I something about Beetlejuice because I just heard like something about Beetlejuice. Okay, um, you know what I mean? Like how the movie that's kind of what Scorpio is like the Beetlejuice of, comes in and it says, okay, we're gonna alchemize all these internal experiences, and then we get into the bigger planets, the big players, right? Once Pluto walks in, Pluto says, hey, here's my friends, Jupiter, here's Saturn, here's Uranus, here's Neptune, right? These are outer planets, these are big planets. AKA going back to what I'm saying. Pluto and the whole Scorpio energy is such a powerful reason why it's so powerful because it talks about think about it, it talks about from like an internalized experience to an externalized experience. So some of you might be going through that. Then it's something about like leaving home is also what I heard too. Some of you might be leaving your comfort zones. That's what Scorpio also represents. It talks about Scorpio talks about, like I said, it's a grieving, it's a portal, it's going from one state entering another, right? It doesn't talk about the end. It does talk about a ending, but not the ending. Okay, that's a whole nother. That's when you look. But if you know life, and if you know, especially if you know tarot, if you know spirituality, if you know astrology, if you know life, nothing really ends. It just circulates. It just cycles back. Even Pisces go straight back in Aries. We run this back again. Okay. Ooh, okay. Bottom of the deck. Okay, okay. Ooh, I love this. Okay, first card out. Okay, I got ooh. Okay, let's get into some of the cards that came out with the reading. Okay. First card out. Okay, 10 of Swords. Now this card, ooh, it's a doozy. Okay, so if you know the Ten of Swords, I'm gonna just explain before showing you the card. Ten of Swords talks about an ending, a wrapping up. Like I said, mental. Something about this full moon is a very mental moon. You might be feeling a lot more mentally active, or just like I said, you're kind of looking at the things around you and you're like, this isn't mentally sustainable for me. Ten of Swords, check this out. Okay, Ten of Swords. It's a crazy card, right? This person is in a straight jacket, but the doctor here is freaking pretty something about lobotomy, okay? Something about getting a procedure. You might be considering getting a procedure done. Or something about like I heard something about taking meds or something about like because there's a perspective shift. Something about getting work done. And like I said, I was getting this message about like especially with the body here, right? I'm getting this her body dysmorphia. So something about you wanting to change your body, change the way that you look, that way it changes your perspective. Something about altering or changing a perspective here. I do see the bird here, the white bird. So something about freedom. This full moon is really it's kind of intense, right? I feel like some of you, or I feel like you might be feeling this. It's like I heard low level anxiety or this kind of like underlying anxiety, but something about a release here. Something about you mentally being released or releasing yourself in the process. I heard something about meditation also is going to help you feel a bit more free, but the imagery, look at this. 10 of swords. Okay. I feel like this also like like some of you are like considering I heard like leaving a workplace, leaving an environment that is keeping you stuck. Okay. Something about being stuck. Um, but I heard like I heard the worst of it is over. I heard the worst of it is over. Okay. I heard also I heard free your mind and your ass will follow. So album from Funkadelic. There's a message in there somewhere, but something about free your mind. Free your mind. What is that? Is that in Vogue? Who's saying that? Free your mind. Something about freeing your mind. Something about yeah, this full moon in Scorpio is saying, yeah, this full moon in Scorpio is saying free your mind. I also am getting this like I heard just like I said, like unplugging from the matrix, this kind of like I said, you wanting to like I said, like you've been in a cage. You know, like I said, you're something about they can lock up my body, but they can't lock up your mind. What is this? What does this mean? Something about they can lock up your body, but they can't lock up your mind, or something about like your soul. Because I get this is also not just your mind, but it's also your soul. They can lock up my body, but they can't lock up my soul. Okay, something about that. Okay. Fool and Scorpio saying, hey, time to be free. Two of coins. Okay. What I have here, two of coins. So this also talks about so financially, I heard watch your spending. But also I heard something about a bucket or like having money in buckets or something. Don't let your left hand know what the right's doing. I see the hands here and you see like there's a shadow. Also, this person in this card here, I don't know, I'm getting like the cure vibes. Something about the cure. Something about cure. Okay, you could be working on curing something. I heard like curing yourself. Something about there's self-healing that's happening here. That I see with this. Something about like I said, I'm getting that ooh, hold on, wait. Something about like self-care, and I heard investing in your future self is what I heard. Cuz you see this like shadow, but shadows aren't normally white. Shadows are black. This looks like your higher self or like a version of yourself. Something about investing in your future self. I heard save for tomorrow. Plan for today, save tomorrow for tomorrow. Is that the same? Whatever. Something about something about helping your future self out is what I heard too. I don't know why I'm getting all this like the cure energy. Something about Robert Smith. Okay, is Robert Smith? Look. Anyway, and something about dancing, because if you look at this person look like they're dancing. Like just the way that they're and their hands are open. Something about like dancing. I heard something about a rave or dance or going out. Something about like when you open yourself up. Um, I don't know. I see someone like going to a club or going out somewhere new and just kind of like dancing and opening themselves up to opportunity. I heard new opportunities on the way. Just make sure you are investing. Think about self-care. You're pouring into the future version of yourself, not just the version of yourself in this moment. Okay, two of coins with this full moon. The next 2 weeks, make sure self-care is a priority for you and pouring back into yourself. Okay. I do have the full here. With the full, I'm going to kind of cover it up the way you can see it. So with the full here, this really talks about this full moon really Because if you look at it, didn't I say that's a portal? Look at that. It's a door. Don't mind the stuff. Okay, so it's an owl, and then it's a door, and it's like a portal. Like it's a hole. Like you know what I mean? It looks like a tunnel. Something about a tunnel. Something about a tunnel, but also this like if you look at it, something about like a birth canal. You could be either like pregnant or you could be like getting ready to have a baby, have birth. Heard also like if you're moving or if you're training, something about like getting ready to launch or like you're going through a portal. Like you're not there yet, but you're like going through it. Okay. This fool is really, and especially with the skull here too. Something about like because if you look at the way that they're holding it, it looks like almost like I want to say, like I said, it's your past self as you're moving into this new cycle, it's like you're taking like a old version of yourself with you, but it's not running the show. Something about carrying the past with you, but not letting your past carry you. With the owl here, like 'cause I'm getting a lot of wisdom. Something about wisdom, and that's like the second bird I'm seeing already. I'm seeing some more other birds too. With the full, this really talks about a new beginning. Let this full moon usher you into a new, powerful new beginning. Where you can or like rewrite the story. I'm seeing you see the writing, something about writings on the wall. Was that a Destiny Child album? Writings on the wall? Something about writing if these walls could talk is what I heard. Why am I getting all this Kendrick energy? Look, look. I don't know. Okay. If these walls could talk. Something about the walls talk. Something about if these walls could talk. Okay, so you could be something about being in a space. I hear like something about like being in a space and like or like this because this could be a new job or new house. Like you could be in a different. Okay, this is a specific, very specific channel message. You could be in a house or be at work, and like you can hear people talking through the wall, or just like you can, you know what I mean? Like you're overhearing a conversation, or you're getting like information just by existing, just by being in the space. Does that make sense? I don't know. Look, next 2 weeks, these will get kind of spooky. Okay, it gets spooky every day is October. Why am I getting all this Kendrick? Maybe it's because I pulled the Gemini energy. I think I pulled this Gemini energy. Kendrick comes out somewhere. Gets spooky every day in October. My, okay. Carry on. Okay. Four of Swords. Okay. Something about put your weapon down is what I heard. I heard put the guns down, put the weapons down. Four of Swords here. I have here. This really talks about, like I said, something about this like dreaming. Don't wake me. I'm dreaming. I'm getting all this old school ass energy. Don't wake me. Was that from New Jack City soundtrack? Don't wake me. I'm dreaming. Ah, ooh. Something. Don't wake me up till my dream is complete. Cause I'm dreaming. Just leave me alone. Turn off the lights and unplug the phone. Something about do not disturb. Something about this full moon could really be the next 2 weeks, this full moon could really be calling you into like a period of isolation. Cause I heard turn off the lights and unplug the phone. Something about don't wake me, I'm dreaming. Girl, don't wake me. Cause I heard, like I said, I just get like I said, this is a very like mentally stimulating full moon. Okay. It's like we're feeling the full moon in the body, but like, cause I heard something about like paranoia. You're feeling paranoid. Something about paranoia. Feeling paranoid or feeling like you look at people around you. Like something about like I heard judgment also. Something about like judgment and paranoia. Something about like it's time for I heard also like it's time for you to take a nap. If you feel tired, just take a little nap, Something about like getting your full 8 hours of rest because four of swords. I'm only seeing like someone's only getting like 4 hours of sleep at a time. Some of y'all like y'all are running off of fucking 4 hours of sleep. I don't know where I got two from, but 2 to 4 hours of sleep and wondering why you feel fucking crazy. Okay. This is why, okay. You see, this person's not even in the bed. So Some of y'all, oh look, you look. This is a message for you know who you are if you're listening to this. Okay, some of y'all hit the bed, get straight back up. Okay, some of y'all not even something about sleeping, but you're not really sleep. You're in the bed, but you're not really sleeping. Something about astral travel. You could be waking up. Something about four. I hear also like 4 a.m. Something about 4 a.m. Could be waking up at 4 a.m. Only getting 4 hours of sleep, or something about like getting up at 4 a.m. Something about like you are in bed, your body needs to be resting or should be resting, but you're not asleep. Something about your body is not sleeping, or your astral traveling or astral projecting. Because if you look at a whole vision, the whole thing is like playing out in the background. Let me see what else. Yeah, something about trying to get some sleep. Okay. No, because there's some of y'all staying up till 4 a.m. Something about looking at information or something like some of your minds are so active during the day that it's like hard to shut off. And spirit is really urging you to take some time to let's see, one, two, yeah, I do see the swords here. You see there's a sword right here, here. Some here, something about um yeah, some of you, and also this like this goes back to the original title of the message, right? Your old, your new life is going to cost your old one. Are you willing to let go? With the Four of Swords, really talks about, um, it talks about like a period of rest. It can be, but it's like I said, this is you're in a transition. Okay. Spirit doesn't need you to make all the moves right now. Spirit just needs you to make the first step in faith, having faith in your dreams. Okay. Something about, like I said, I'm getting more Matrix energy because something about flying here also too. Like something about like have faith in your dreams. This person is sleeping, but they're floating. Like some of you, ooh, that's a whole nother message. Some of you, like, okay, look, this is a very specific message. Some of you are more magical and like more gifted than you realize. Something about this like matrix or this like reality, this could be even your own family, the people closest to you, have programmed you to think that you're like normal. Or like this is a very specific message, okay? Like, but it's like when you sleep, like I was about a vampire. Not a vampire, but something about like when you're not conscious, when you're not in your waking reality, there's magical stuff you have going on, but you kind of walk around in reality and being like, oh, like whatever about things. It's like, no, like what's that movie Twitches? Why did that movie pop up in my spirit too? Like I said, get spooky every day in October. Some those shit getting spooky. Okay. Did not call that out with the whole Scooby Doo message? Shit gets spooky every day in October. Something about like something about your energy, like in your day to day reality. Like I said, Twitches. How she was like, if you ever went, it's like an old Disney like deep cut. Something about old school deep cuts. You could be watching old movies or just like old spooky shit or just old meta shit. Like I watched Blade Runner the other day, like the original one. I was like, man, this shit still go hard. Okay, so it's about Twitches. And if you remember the beginning of the movie, or just go back, it's on Disney Plus, whatever. Um, where all this spooky weird shit was happening, she was like, oh, whatever. She's like, I ain't not. Everyone's like, girl, what the fuck you got going? She's over here just like, you like, that's how some of you are. Like, that's how you are. Like, you just do things that are just like, that's so easy, like, whatever, whatever. Other people are like, can you run that back for me? Like, how did you do that? And you're just like, man, whatever. But then you go to sleep and you be floating and shit, wondering why you so tired. It's because you floating, weirdo. What are you doing? But something about, like I said, this full moon, that like something about the next 2 weeks. I heard like the next 2 weeks being kind of spooky. Like even though it's Taurus season and it's all cute, like Tauruses are kind of like y'all kind of spooky too. That's why Taurus, that's why Scorpio energy like balances it out. Something about practical magic here. I know y'all seen that trailer. Practical magic. Okay. Something about practical magic. Um, you make things happen around you. It looks practical to you, but it's magical to everyone else around you. Okay. Something about practical magic, something about like magic in the mundane. That's really, honestly, if you want to talk about alchemy and witchcraft, it's not even something that's as woo woo as people make it. We create our reality every single moment. Practical magic. You make it something about, like I said, with this with this tour. Look, Practical magic. Okay, this is saying not something about, like I said, when you something about alchemy and the formula. So the formula. Something about like when you put things together in a structured way, magic happens. Like the magic of the mundane happens. There is a magic that happens when you are practical. It isn't so woo woo as we make things out to be. Honestly, it's like you use like changing your body, like losing weight, for example. It's not like something you don't wave a magic wand and then you just do it, right? It's like, no, you have to get 8 hours of sleep. You have to eat properly. You have to change the way your mindset is. Something about, like I said, perspective. This full moon is changing your mindset, changing your perspective on what is possible for you. Okay. Okay. The moon, okay. It's another thing that's coming up. 'Cause I knew I was having a feeling because I was like this full moon, like I feel the Neptune energy. You don't see it. That's the thing with Neptune. You don't ever see it, but you feel it, okay? This goes back to that kind of like magical the moon. Because like I said, it is a moon, the full moon. But what this is really talks about, because when I see this person kind of like floating in sand, something about quicksand, something about time. I heard time is up also. I heard oh, what is that saying? It's in the Bible. It was like, was it Lot's wife? Look back, turn into a pillar of salt or something. Something about don't look back, because I heard like the past. Heard something about the past. Look, the past is catching up to somebody. I'm gonna call it like I see it. Okay, we're 40 minutes in it. Okay, something about the past catching up to someone. The full moon. So someone's getting exposed. Like I said, I early in the reading, I was getting this something about for like a crime or like something like awful, like something about exposed here. Whatever someone tried to hide is going to be exposed, whether this is a lie, whether this is something like something about cheating, or this could be at work too. I also heard someone trying to, like I said, cover up. Something about a cover up, something about back it up. Okay. Something about like making sure that you have a like backup plan. I heard backup plan or something. Because when I see this like sand and this person, their arms are up. Something about I'm up to my neck. I'm not like I heard like I'm up to my neck in bills. Okay, something like I said, get your money straight. Okay, something about get your money straight. Okay, because something like I'm up to here. Something about I've had it up to here. Okay, something about I've had it up to here is what I'm hearing. Um, my last card out. It wouldn't be the Scorpio full moon without death. Okay, death. The last card out, okay? Your new life is going to cost you your old one. Okay, there's two cards with beds here. But in here, huh? That's so interesting cuz yeah, there's two cards I'm getting with bed. And then there's two skulls I have in here too. But this bed is empty. And there's a shadow and then there's a skull that's split. Something about something about like because I feel like also with this full moon in Taurus, you may this I feel like I'm getting two different messages. I'm getting like either you're barely in bed, like you're up. Once you're up, you're up and out. And then I'm also getting like this kind of like procrastinating kind of energy. With the Scorpio full moon is really, really, I heard just like, I heard calling you out. This full moon is calling you out. I heard someone getting called out on their bullshit, whatever that means for you. Getting called out, but with death here, this really talks about, like I said, it is time for you to have the life of your dreams, for you to be able to tap into your like your magic. Cause look at the vibe, just a general vibe, right? I feel like this is how someone feels in reality, where they feel just kind of like dark and they just kind of feel like really moody. Where or this is you in your subconscious. This is where you go when you dream. This is where you go when you like have your visions when you can separate from reality. Spirit is really this is a big message. Someone spirit is saying that if you're miserable where you're at, you're not where you're supposed to be. If you're putting in a lot of work and you're showing up and you're doing I heard if you're doing the work and you're still miserable, you are not where you need to be. Okay. I heard it's time to skedaddle. Okay. Because with death, hey, because I heard death comes for us all, but I also heard death becomes her. Like I'm getting all these old school movies. Some of you look. Some of y'all just like running it back with the classics. Meryl Streep. Okay, something about Meryl Streep here. Something about death becomes her. Something about oh geez. Like something about this like because was it her and oh I forgot who else was in it. They're like immortal. Like they become like immortal or something. So something about death becomes her, but like it's something about death becoming, like something like, ooh, this is another download. I'm getting this vibe of you just like I said, I'm getting that Kendrick, that kind of like, fuck everybody that's on my body. My Blake first. The guy got me. I'll watch him pan into the hand. Something about like going up your rank. Know you a God, even when they say you ain't. Yeah. Keep your feelings out the way. Never let no one put smut up on your name. Put your head down and work like I do. But understand everybody ain't gonna like you. Ooh, hold on, wait. Because this was like a whole message too. I have Ten of Swords at the beginning, right? Because like this is the only card I really have with like another person that's in it. Because something about like, cause I heard there's like an op here, or like something about like defeat, like either like defeating your ops, or something about like I heard transcending your ops. Okay, that's a message for somebody. Okay, you transcend. This full moon is really asking you to like, cause something about like you might be called to stoop to someone's level. Okay, stay with me here. If this is an op, or this is someone like at your job, this is someone that is like someone that's miserable, or like someone that wants to bring you down to their level. Someone who, because I heard like when I saw this, I heard like lobotomy. Like someone really is trying to come for your mental. Like someone's really trying to keep you numb or keep you stuck, right? But with death, death is a, didn't I just say it? That it's a portal. Should you walk through, because this is the first card out, should you walk through, you get the level up. You get the transfer. Because I get someone like, I don't know, I'm getting all this like Matrix kind of like vibes. Like something about like you, I don't know. Are you back in the gym? Or you just like, so I see someone in the gym, like someone like, I heard someone like getting their like Avenger build, or like their revenge body. Something about like, because that's what Scorpio plays the long game with this death here. This is Scorpio's card, okay? Something about playing the long game, okay? Scorpio doesn't, same way Taurus doesn't do instant gratification in the way that certain other signs do. Scorpio doesn't. Scorpio plays the long game. They will delay gratification for that lick back, for that get back, okay? Something about it, get back, a lick back, okay? Something about ooh, Cardi B, something about if we have beef, we gonna beef forever. Okay, something about beefing forever. So, but I just, because I just get that someone's like, oh, someone's mad. Someone's like, I'm just getting this like, I heard watch me. I heard something about like, I don't know, someone try to doubt you, someone try to speak fear on you, someone try to hold you down, and they say, watch me, and then you're just like, well, watch this. Something about watching. What am I watching? Okay. Okay, let me wrap this up. All right. We're almost at an hour. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's wrap this up. So this full moon, like this is something about like I'm really getting this like this because I've been listening to a lot. I don't know why. I've been listening to a lot of like 90s, like I don't know, like all of this like 90s hardcore, like Blade kind of shit. Like, it's something about like this kind of like bad, like this like badass kind of like something about I heard like Matrix Reloaded. I heard something about Reloaded. I hope y'all okay, look. I hope y'all ain't freaking doing no all right. With Scorpio energy, I wouldn't put it past it. Okay. With Scorpio energy, I'm not messing around because Scorpio energy does not play. But I do feel that your old, like I said, your old life is going to cost, your new life is going to cost your old one. Okay. Should you move forward, and should you release these limitations put on you, especially when it comes to people, because I'm just getting this huge, like someone trying to like, so I heard destiny swap, and I also heard like someone trying to like hijack your mind, like the same way like how people can hack computers. I feel like someone's trying to hack your brain. Something about trying to hack your mind. Someone's trying to hack your mindset, and like still like I don't know, I don't like it. But because when I see the death card here, because I heard also like I heard, like I said, going offline. I heard also this could be so I heard going offline, right? This could be you finding ways to be more independent outside of, because this also, because I heard like like gardening. I heard also like building your own library, or your own like digital library, like something about like going offline or off grid, or like being able to sustain off grid. Something about so because I'm getting that, just like you being sustainable on your own means. This could be like learning how to make your own clothes, or like grow your own food, learning how to shoot, learning how to fish, whatever that means for you, or just learning a new skill. Like I said, mentally, somebody is mentally hungry here. Some, like with the Mercury here, the Ten of Swords, like some Ten of Swords also talks about like sorry, I'm getting just downloads all over the place. Ten of Swords, because swords have to do with like mind and the mental institutions, right? Some of y'all are just like tired of like, because when I see this too, it's like tired of the programming, and tired of being told what to think and how to feel, tired of being this is how you're supposed to live life, this is how you're supposed to think. Like I said, this whole like judging, people judging and like projecting onto you, and it's making you paranoid. You could be learning the skills to be sustainable. Okay, your new life is going to cost your old one. Okay, like I said, matrix. Okay, you're going to have to, do you want red pill, blue pill? Okay, you can go back to GA. Told them, you want to go back to sleep. Like you want to, and it could all be over. Or do you want to take the red pill? you know do you want to take the red pill and freaking go down a whole new hole? You want to go down a new path? Are you willing to let go? If you love the timeline you're on, if your life, your reality is working for you, that's great. I'm happy for you. Why are you watching me? Kind of. But if you feel that it's time to step in a new direction, spirit is absolutely saying that you can. It's not, that's the thing. It's not going to feel good though. It's not. I heard it's not going to feel good. But it's not about how it feels, it's about the work that needs to happen. Okay, so just be patient with yourself. Be patient. The Two of Coins here says be patient, take your time, just don't rush the process. Okay, same thing with like, so I'm just getting this like composting, something about compost, something about like taking ooh, wow, something about taking the raw material and like letting it break down naturally. Same thing, if you've ever done composting, if you've ever done gardening, you know that it takes time for these materials. It will break down, but eventually it takes time for things to break down and process. Okay, okay. So with my rooted and growing, I trust in my journey. Okay, didn't I just say that? I trust in my journey. It's not gonna feel good. Okay. You're, like I said, you're even carrying bits of your past self. Something about I carry my past versions of me within me. Okay, you don't abandon, you don't leave them behind. I honor every version of myself up until this version now, and then guess what? Maybe in 6 months, a year, 2 years, this version of me may not even exist. That version of me that exists right now probably gonna look like this. But I trust in my journey. I have faith in your dreams, and trust in your journey that you will get to where you need to go in the timing you need to. Okay. All right. So let's wrap up with our archangels here. Sensitivity. Sensitivity. A guy like me. Was it Ralph Tresvant? Yes, sensitivity. You are extra sensitive to energies and emotions right now, honoring your feelings. Like I said, extra sensitive. Something about paranoid, something about so I'm getting all this old school. What's that? My mind's playing tricks on me. What is it? Ghetto Boys? Something about mind's playing tricks on me. Something about feeling like paranoid, or feeling a little like sensitive right now. What spirit is saying, because like I'm getting a lot of birds here. Okay, something about like listening to music that helps ground you, something about being out in nature, being out in the ocean, being around people in environments that make you feel more grounded, and make you feel something about, like I said, gardening. This could be you going into the gardens, or being out in nature. You could be working on a garden or tending to your plants. Something about being extra sensitive right now, trying not to. I heard just like something about a sensitive gangster. Because I heard just something about like I'm sensitive gangster. Okay, some of y'all gangster as hell, but So you're all kind of sensitive. So it's like just don't let no one, I heard don't fall for it. Don't go for it. Nurture. Didn't I just say that? Be around people that support you, your inner child. I heard also have space, hold space for your inner child right now. Because as much as you grieve as an adult, I heard your inner child is also grieving and processing, being tender with yourself. As you nurture a child, you nurture your own inner child. Both activities are important for you now. So this also could be your kids or the young ones you have around you in your community. Hold space for them because I heard that a lot of children in the world, like collectively, are going through a lot of grief. They don't understand what's happening. They're looking at their world, they're trying to make sense of what's happening around them. Just as you nurture a child, nurture your own inner child. Okay, so something about taking this time, really nurturing, tuning into the needs of what the little ones, because I heard the version be the person that you needed when you were younger, is what I heard. Be the person that you needed when you were younger. And then last but not least, outdoors. Okay, didn't I just say this? Archangel Yophiel, go outside, get some fresh air, connect with nature to relieve stress and gain new creative ideas. Something about open the windows. I heard if you can't really go outside like that, or something about like with it being spring, with it being Taurus. Taurus is all about the senses, being out in the dirt, engaging with the earth directly. This is what's going to help you feel the most grounded. Something about flowers or like roses here in the color green. Something about green. You could be wearing green. Spirit is saying to wear more green, or just being out in the grass, being out in nature is going to help you feel more grounded, helps you relieve stress, gain new creative ideas. Okay, I also heard that outdoors leads to more abundance. I heard leave your house, okay? Like I said, there's two beds here, okay? One of the beds is outside, okay? So something about get out of your bed, okay? Yeah, even if you're watching me, hey, stand up, go outside, take your phone. I know you're on your phone or your computer, whatever. Go outside. Something about sitting in front of the porch. I heard also sitting on the dock of the bay. Sitting on the dock of the bay. Something about like sitting in the porch or sitting under the sun, with the ideas that you get. Journal. I heard like journaling, communication. Like I said, something about you journaling or sitting outside talking to your friends or your neighbors. um but something about when you sit outside, you get ideas, and then also just getting out the house, you're going to get more abundance, you're going to get more connection to people that are going to help you get more prosperous. Okay. First card out, last card out. Okay. Get your ass outside. Okay. Something about go outside, go play. I heard go play outside. Okay. Some of y'all, like, if y'all remember we were younger, parents would be like, you go outside, you stay outside till the street lights come on. Okay. I don't want you no ripping and running, running inside of my house. Okay. Something about go outside. Prosperity lies ahead. Prosperity lies for you. Okay. So that's what I have for you for this full moon in Scorpio. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.